Hello and welcome to this video. In today's video, I want to talk about Grand Theft Auto and the three elements from the Red Dead Redemption 2 that I do not want to see ported across into Grand Theft Auto 6. Now, before we launch straight in the video, I want to say that I do like Red Dead Redemption 2. I think it's a fantastic game. I think it's well written. I think the scenery is amazing and I think the graphics are good. So it is a very good game. That being said, I may think it is a very good game, but doesn't mean that I think it is the perfect game and every single piece of it is perfect. And there is in fact three elements that I'm going to discuss today, which, as I said right at the beginning of the video, I don't want to see ported over to Grand Theft Auto 6 because for me, I didn't think they added to the overall experience and in fact took away from it. Okay, so launching into the first one then. And this was, I know this was quite lauded as quite a good part of the game, but for me, I just didn't like it that much. And that is around the random events that happen as you move around the countryside. Now, you know, when you first start playing the game and you go along and you see someone's being bitten by a snake and you suck the poison out and what have you, that all feels very interactive, like that you're being part of the world, what have you. You go along and there's a stagecoach that's meant to have fallen over and then they try and rob you and all those things. When we very first have a go at it, that is all very good, it's very exciting. However, the bit that took it away from me with those random events is the fact that they happened more than once. I wasn't really sure if it was just my version was not saving when I did things, but I actually gather that's just what it is. For example, if you travel around enough, you'd see that guy with a snake again, and then you'd see him again. You think, how many more times you can get bitten by the same snake? It just made it feel very much that you're not actually having an impact on him. It's just a scenario that's running again and again. And the same for, someone pulls you over for a stagecoach and, maybe you had a shootout with them and, they should definitely not turn back up again later in the game. Yeah, they do. So like I said, I like the idea of the random events, but the fact they just happened again and again made it feel pointless what you did with them. So as I say, that's the first thing I don't want to see in Grand Theft Auto 6. The second thing then, and this might sound a slight contradiction to what I said right at the beginning about the good graphics and the nice scenery you have, is I have a slight thing with the big open vistas. I think, the style of game, the style of how I like to play a game is I like to go out there and I like to explore. I don't at the beginning just want to shoot through a storyline. I just want to go off. I like, when you've got fantastic scenery games like you do in Red Dead Redemption 2, I'll just pick a tree or something in the distance and I think, I just head towards that. And I do on games like Fallout 4 and what have you. And when you do that, it is, it's very nice. You get a lot of scenery. You really, you can really get into it. And like I said, I really enjoyed that. But the trouble I had is I did a lot of that at the beginning. And then when I actually did the storyline, you find that a lot of the storyline is travel all the way over there, travel all the way over here. And almost it became a bit samey seeing the big open vistas. It's like I say, it's the way I play a game. But for me, I don't want to see Grand Theft Auto 6 with these huge areas where you have to go from one place to another where there's very little going on. And as I said, if the things are that go on are random events that feel pretty meaningless, that doesn't really add that much to me. So I'd like to make sure there is points of interest and genuine interest, not just big open scenery to look at. So then the third element I don't want to see ported over to Grand Theft Auto 6 then is around how the wanted levels work. So as I said, these were big open areas. Very often you didn't see that many people around, yet kind of bizarrely, if you had a wanted level, you'd be stepping just out of one bit where you've got a wanted level, you step into where you've got a wanted level, and you wouldn't travel very far before you get a whole mob of people trying to find you. And it just felt very out of keeping because, if you wanted to pay off, you had to go all the way to the post office and, I couldn't help but just end up with wanted levels everywhere. And it meant, if you did a mission, some of the missions were quite spread across areas. You'd be doing a mission and then you'd have to go slightly into another area. And the minute you got there seemed to be this big mob descended on you, which one wasn't that great fun because to get rid of it took a lot of time. But secondly, it didn't feel that realistic. It didn't feel that realistic that, you could be going through this little forest and suddenly you've got a load of people jumping on you. It just again took away from the realism. So Grand Theft Auto 6 is a different type of game, but as I say, I don't want to see that sort of sudden appearance of people. Almost felt like you had a timer on you. You had 30 seconds being in an area and suddenly you're going to get people on you, and that just takes away from realism. Really, what you want is to have these non-playable characters moving around. Fine, you've got wanted level, there may be a mob, but they should be moving around rather than just, it feels like they will just generate near you, which wasn't something I was massively fond of. So as I say, those are 3 elements that I don't want to see ported over. If you've got any thoughts, feelings, please put them in the comments. I'd love to hear about it. And if you haven't subscribed already, then why not hit that button? See you on the next video.